Thank you, Jen.
Great. Great. Thanks.
This piece is called The Jewish Boy and His Christian Ritual. In 1946, my 22-year-old cousin, Aaron Kleinman, came to America. His parents and sister Gerda had been murdered by the Nazis, and Aaron was the sole survivor of the Kleinman family. Mama was always hugging him. I love him, she'd say. He's so quiet and dignified, handsome too. One day, Papa asked, "Have you noticed something peculiar about Aaron?" "What do you mean?" said Mama. "When we sit down at the dinner table, he does something funny with his hands, a motion he makes before eating." "Oh yeah," said Mama. "You know what that is, don't you? He's making the sign of the cross." "Yeah, I've seen him do that." "Don't you think it's strange for a Jewish boy to make these movements, forehead to belly, then across the chest each time he's eating with us?" "I guess so," said Mama nonchalantly. And added Papa, "He does it quickly, like he doesn't want us to notice." "Oh," said Mama, "you sound so upset. Let it go. Don't worry, he's still a Jewish boy, and he's just gotten interested in a nice Jewish girl. The kid's been through a lot. He doesn't need our stamp of approval. Leave him alone." It wasn't long before the word had circulated around the neighborhood. "Aaron does this Christian thing." A tenement building in the Bronx thrives on gossip. All sorts of whispering circulated about Aaron's hand and arm ceremony. Neighborhood children took to mocking him. "You're really Christian, aren't you? You're just pretending to be Jewish." Cute, perky Sandra Leibowitz lived with her widower father, Oscar, in a small apartment on the 3rd floor. Sandra and Aaron had become fast friends. So he wasn't hanging out on the street corner anymore with us. He and Sandra were either going to the movies or working together on their school studies. They could usually be seen holding hands. Oscar Leibowitz couldn't stand it. One day, he buttonholed Papa. "I have a problem with your nephew, Aaron. What is this cross-making, these hand motions all about?" "I just don't know," answered Papa. "He is Jewish, isn't he?" "Of course, he's my sister's son. He goes to temple with me." "I don't like it," countered Oscar. "If I don't get to the bottom of this soon, I'm going to put my foot down. He'll be off limits to Sandra." One day I asked Aaron straight out, "Why do you do that thing with your hands?" He said, "It's just something I need to do. It's comforting." "Don't you know what upsets Papa?" "I try not to be obvious," he said quietly. "Why must you keep doing it? You're Jewish. Why don't you just stop?" "I do it for my sister Gerda, for my parents, for Sister Maria Zaworsky. She was a Carmelite nun. When everything was crazy in Warsaw, she hid me in the basement of St. Michael's Church. She forged my baptismal certificate. She fed me, watched over me, and got me medicine when I was sick. She tutored me in church liturgy so I'd know how to behave during Mass. She taught me how to make the sign of the cross. When I was frightened, I made the sign constantly, and it felt so good. It's just natural for me now." Papa announced to family and friends, "We need guidance." He didn't have to explain. Everyone knew that our family was well connected to the Almighty with our own personal consultant, Rabbi Naftula. The learned rabbi could provide the right solution for any issue, big or small. Papa bowed his head when he was ushered into the rabbi's sitting room. He kissed the rabbi's porcelain white hand, a delicate-looking limb that matched his fragile body. The rabbi had spent his whole life studying the meaning of life, the expectations of God, and how to resolve all human foibles. But he explained to Papa he hadn't kept up with spiritual practices of Christianity. Thus he needed to do some research. He promised that he'd meet with all the concerned parties. A few weeks later, Reb Naftula sat up as straight as he could and tried speaking in a voice that was louder than his usual whisper. "I've invited all those who care, who are close to Aaron, but not Aaron himself. I like him, and I think he's a good person." Then he pontificated. "Many of life's rituals and symbols deserve the full participation of all people. Things like an embrace, a handshake, or the clasping of hands in prayer, these are universally accepted for all of us. Oh, crap, muttered Oscar Leibowitz, this is going to be a whitewash. But there are some rituals, continued the rabbi, that represent the core belief of a particular faith. In my judgment, it would be unwise for men to accept all such rituals and attempt to mix them together in a kind of a stew. That would totally dilute who we really are. There's a lot of fidgeting. I've spoken at length with Aaron, and I understand his deep-seated need. Though I can't sanction such observance, I won't forbid it either. Upon this pronouncement, there was a buzz of whispers around. What did he say? What does he mean? The rabbi continued, I want to explain my real reason for asking you all here today. I want you to take part in a healing process. Aaron's needs are complicated. They stem from a childhood that I pray will never be experienced again by anyone. I want you to have compassion and pay no attention to his little cross-making ceremony. I promise you it will eventually diminish. Do you think you can do that? Only Sandra Leibowitz's head bobbed in the affirmative. One day, Aaron's ritual virtually disappeared, just as Redmond told us said it would. There also came a day when folks pretty much forgot about his signing. They barely recalled the fun they had, giggling about the mixed-up Jewish boy and his Christian fingers. And the best part is that Aaron wound up marrying Sandra Leibowitz, a wondrous girl. There is one other thing worth mentioning that Sandra confided in me. Aaron's compulsion didn't disappear completely. He tried. He wanted to please Mama and the Leibowitzes and the rabbi. He wanted to eliminate the practice entirely, but he couldn't. Each evening, as he went to bed, he'd make the sign of the cross while he whispered, Lord, I give you my heart and mind. I give you my thoughts and action. Please watch over my departed parents and Gertrude. Lord, please watch over Sister Maria. Each night, Sandra was there watching, and afterwards, they either made love or hug until they fell asleep.